What's up? What's up? Happy Friday. Welcome to a new episode of Unspoken Truth Podcast. I'm your host, Denise. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Hopefully everybody had a productive, positive day and week. We back. So I consider this what I like to call Freestyle Friday, which means it's just a random topic that I just either previously came up with or just off the top of the dome. A lot of people say that's what they love about me and my platform and my show. Okay, so I don't know. I just was sitting here thinking for a second, like, where I want to go with this. And I started thinking, you know what? Manipulation. We need to talk about it. I feel like it's at an all-time high right now in so many different ways. In families, on the job, in relationships, just manipulative. You know what I'm saying? All the time. In every area of their life. Like it's mind boggling, man. Some of the levels and extents that people willing to go to manipulate and have their way in the situation. I mean, so, nothing surprised me at this point. Coach Denisha, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Um, Manipulation. That is when somebody is twisting things to benefit them. In short terms. As long as the outcome is gonna be beneficial to them, it ain't no limit to the lengths they willing to go to. That's scary. I think that's why we've been seeing such an increase in like domestic violence and even death, where people is actually like going overboard about control or manipulation. Lack of control of themselves, because I think that's even scarier. And I think everybody at some point, or maybe it's they haven't, but I would say a majority of people have definitely gotten so upset that they scared themselves. Like I don't know what I might do. I'm so angry. That's scary, man. And I can say that with a straight face because I've absolutely been there. I've absolutely been there. Like off the Richter, off the rocker. Like, yeah. What is that? Where does that come from? You think that's a learned behavior? Like, where does that manipulative spirit, if you will, where does that come from? What is that rooted in? Where did it start at? Why is that a thing? This is just stuff I was just sitting here thinking about before I got on here. Like, it's a million things to talk about all the time. It really is. But I just feel like because I've been experiencing so much stuff lately, personally, this is something that I've personally experienced multiple times, but it just lately I've just been seeing this manipulative spirit. Where is it just like, why? I'm a person, I don't I don't want nothing from nobody that's got to be coerced, manipulated, persuaded. No, I don't want nothing in my life that requires those things. So I absolutely am not going to tolerate that mindset, thinking, mental behavior from a human being. No. Mm-mm. No, because for me, if you struggle with yourself, managing your emotions, um, working and building and growing your mental, if you ain't doing that, yeah, no, I can't. No, I cannot be around somebody who is incapable of managing those things because those things are your responsibility, not nobody else's. No, your mental and emotional stability and well being is absolutely your job. It ain't for nobody else to clock in about. It ain't for nobody else to manage and work on for you. No, no. That's a personal, internal job. It has to be done. It have to be done. I just feel like most people are just so afraid of themselves that manipulation is like I'd rather do that than show up as myself and bits and pieces or whole. Why? Because that do you realize the more you pretend to be somebody else other than who you was designed and made and created to be, the longer you delay the right people around you anyway. If you gonna be manipulative and a manipulator, that's exactly what you're gonna attract. We talked about this a couple of episodes back. I said you gonna attract who you are. You ever wonder why you keep running into the same type of person, just different bodies? Because the theory is it's not a theory. It's been proven. If you a liar, that's who you gonna attract. If you a thief, that's who you gonna attract. If you negative, that's who you gonna attract. If you positive, it's not just in a bad way. It works both ways. If you positive, then that's what you're gonna attract. If you goal orientated, driven, and like to travel, those are the type of people that you gonna attract. If you got an attitude problem and you just always got your face tuned up and your aura, your energy is off, those are the people you gonna attract. Stop thinking the world is against you and somebody got to be setting you up for failure. No, it's literally you. You don't want to be around those type of spirits because that's what I call them because they be well dressed, don't they? They be well dressed. I ain't lying, man. You 3-piece suit, nice shoes, driving a decent car, well maintained, look like they practice good hygiene. And then you sit down and have a conversation with them, or God forbid, go on a date and start seeing certain things about them. Now you like, oh, you one of them. Because it's certain characteristics that I've decided to start like utilizing as tools to help me vet when I'm dating. Most manipulators, they love bombers, they gaslighters, they narcissists, they actors, they actresses. I can't make this stuff up, man. They know how to attach themselves to people so they can get what they want from you. Now, this don't necessarily mean material items or things that you can physically see with your eyes or feel with your hands. No, I'm talking about people's aura. I'm talking about people's energy. I'm talking about you do realize there's people out here that's so delusional and carry such a manipulative and jealous and envious spirit that they'll try to recreate you. They'll start moving, walking, talking, and living like you. You don't believe it? You ain't never seen the movie Single White Female? I mean, I'm just saying, you have to be careful. This is this is this is how I would suggest that you avoid manipulators, because that's what we talking about. The people who they sit back and they study you and they watch you and they figure out what areas you weak in, and then they show up as the things in those areas that they know that you lacking in, and play the role just right. And if you lacking discernment, number one, if I cannot say enough how important it is for you to have discernment. Be able to decipher what's real from the fake. That's gonna be important no matter what. Because a manipulator could be your family member, a manipulator could be your friend, a manipulator could be the person laying next to you in the bed every day. Some of us we didn't spend too much time, too much of our life and time with people around us that's manipulators. And they only was around because, oh, we got a big heart, or oh, we lack boundaries, or oh, the more you ignore something, and we talking about manipulators, the longer they gonna feed and eat off of you, your power, your energy. Next thing you know, you like, why I feel so drained? Why everything seems so heavy? Like, what is going on? Because it's an exchange going on. This is why they say, watch the company you keep. And I think it made way more sense now than it's ever made before for me. Same as weed your garden, and occasionally do inventory on the people around you. If you don't, they gonna leech and eat and feed and feast off of you until you don't even have what it is they was around you for in the first place. You not even gonna have it. You not even gonna have it. Some people just don't like you because you got confidence. They liking that. Maybe you a risk taker. You like to bet on yourself. Some people ain't got that. And they so busy watching you have it that's feeding. They getting more deposits than anything via courtesy of you. And you sitting here trying to figure out why you feel depleted. I'm sitting here telling you why. You got people around you that they only around because you got something that they don't. Maybe you stand and walk and tell your truth, and they don't know how. Maybe you working on yourself, and you get into a season and a place in your life where you gotta have accountability and gotta own your shit, and they don't know how. A manipulator is a person who shows up as everything but themselves, like them, they real self, because they lack so many different things. They feel like that's the only way they can show up in somebody's life is as a manipulator. I'm gonna make you believe I'm this and I'm that. And what I've come to find out about manipulators and people who show up as manipulators, it's a role being played. You only gonna be able to play it for so long. What I realized is sometimes they be done played it for so long they done forgot the lines, they done forgot the lies, they done forgot the role itself. Now the mask done fell off. And you can see them for who they really is. And that makes them uncomfortable because they don't even like to look at themselves. They don't even like themselves. This is why they showed up as a manipulator and got this spirit about themselves. That's exactly why. I'm a person, I realize like I bring certain things out of people. I'm no longer confused at why people be rolling their eyes and neck and just you body language be crazy. I ain't even said nothing. All I did was speak. I don't know. It's something about me that I guess I expose people's inner demons or whatever, or insecurities. And I always used to take that personal, like, man, I ain't did nothing to nobody. All I did was show up, walk in the room, speak. And I got all this. I mean, you could tell when the energy is off in the room that you in. When it's thick, and you be like, man, you cut this with a knife. Like, what's going on? I'm a person is out as outspoken as I am today. I'm a person who used to water myself down to make other people comfortable. No lie. People pleasing was at an all time high at one point in my life. Like, man, I cared more about how somebody else felt based off of something I did than I cared to acknowledge the things that was being done to me. This is why I can have conversations like this because I've been manipulated and I've been the manipulator. That take strength. That take courage for you to be own who you are or once was. Yeah, that take courage. I know that there is a lot of situations in which I know for a fact that I'm owning it. And I've been done that, but I can own it and say I know that I manipulated the situation for it to benefit me, and I ain't care about who I hurt or led on, or I didn't care. Because again, a manipulator is not around for them to care about your feelings or what they doing to you or nothing. No. Don't be fooled. Don't be nobody. I'm gonna keep telling you, don't be nobody crash dummy. A manipulator is exactly who they showed up as. I'm going to wear this facade and this mask and this fake false identity until I can't no more. Or either that or until you figure it out, catch me in the act of being a manipulator or a narcissist. Because a narcissist definitely gonna manipulate you. It's part of the traits that come with a person who narcissistic. Period. And I know there's a lot of people who manipulate things tend to play the victim a lot. The nerve, okay, for you to set the stage and the scenario and the experience up, and then now you the victim. This is why you got to be careful. You got to know self. That's why this is so important. I listen. You. I don't care how long you study a person, how long you've been with a person, how long or how much you love a person. You are never going to know a person fully, and I stand on that. It's not up for debate with me. You may disagree or feel otherwise, but I'm telling you, man, you only gonna know a person based off of what they wanted you to know about them. Hey, cuz, how you doing? Welcome. Um, you just you're not, because let's be clear, some of us are still uncomfortable sharing certain stuff. So I'm gonna leave certain stuff out, and I'm only gonna tell you certain stuff. Don't that sound like a manipulator? That's why this is even a conversation, man. Like you this ain't rocket science when you really stop and think about the different tactics and stuff that people use to get their way for things to play out how they want it to. Okay, got you, cuz. Um, yeah, I've seen people go to the extreme. I'm talking about full blown lying. I mean, the season I'm in my life, well, I've done seen a lot. I've seen people be manipulated so bad to the point where they've been incarcerated. I've seen people be murdered. Yeah. It depends on how long and how much of the manipulation is going on. Because some people is extreme. Some people's situations and scenarios is extreme. And you have people be like, well, why you ain't get away from that person? Because as I said, I believe that manipulative spirit is why we seeing such a increase in domestic violence. I know it. I mean, I don't, it. The people who I've had the pleasure of going to school with and stuff, it's classmate of ours that clearly checked out and allegedly murdered his girlfriend. And then tried to use what I would consider manipulative tactics to not answer for his actions. I know that that's hard to hear. I mean, I feel like some people is such a professional at it that it's whew, before you know it, you already entangled into the web of fucking deception and fuckery is what I call it. Some people be already so embedded in the web of bullshit that by the time they realize that they've been manipulated on a high level, some people ain't been able to walk away. Let's just say that. Because I got to be real careful about the things that I say. I don't want to be restricted again. But you understand what I'm saying. And I too have experienced abuse before in life. And I've kept a lot of things from family and stuff because I knew, like, hey, if I say or tell or, yeah. See, this is how a lot of manipulation and narcissistic behavior and lack of emotional control is what then got a lot of family members and stuff involved in your shit. And now they just showed up, turned up because you made that phone call, and now they might be in prison for the rest of their life, or may have been, you know, taken up out of here in the process of trying to protect you. You have to you you got to be careful, man. I'm gonna keep saying that because you just got to be careful. Just because it look like something don't mean that's what it is all I'm saying. I want to make sure I say this right because I don't want to be talking out of turn. But you are your best advocate against everything that's trying to come against you. Okay? You got so many different deities and spirits, so much stuff going on. Like you got to have your head on the swivel. A person that's a manipulator, that's just one person you got to worry about. It's several other things that people be out here on outside of that. And you can't even see the manipulation that's going on. So you ain't gonna see none of the other stuff. In which you should be labeled, that's red flags. When somebody keeps trying to be the center of your universe, okay? I know this gonna rub some people the wrong way, but I don't care. Okay. When somebody just keep trying to be the center of your universe and they don't know how to be their own individual person first before they be anything to you, red flag. Manipulator all day long. Red, let's hear. You don't believe me? Just start doing experiments. And I know this sounds crazy, but yeah, just start testing what I'm saying out. I shouldn't say experiments, but start testing the things that I'm saying out on people and see what your results be. You don't believe me. You ain't got to, because experience these things yourself is gonna be the best teacher anyway. You ain't gotta take my word for it. But that's a red flag. I ain't nope. Mm-mm. Nope. Manipulator all day long. Somebody that's controlling. I need you to be doing this like this by this time on this day. Red flag, manipulator. Because in the end, this is what you need to understand about this life. You own nothing and nobody. So that controlling spirit where you like, yeah, cause I own her, she belong to me, or I own him and he belong. You better change your way of thinking, and you better get rid of that spirit, that energy that you walking around with that's telling you that that's cool, cause it ain't. You being manipulative as hell, and if ain't nobody else gonna tell you, I will. Red flag. If and I just was talking to somebody about this earlier. If somebody feels the need to chase something or somebody, you better be wondering what kind of mindset or where they fall with mental and emotional instability, narcissistic behavior and tendencies, and manipulative, being a manipulator. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Because a person who is chasing, that's a trauma response. I don't care what nobody say. That's a trauma response. I don't know who told us that that means somebody care about you. If they running away, that means they don't want to be caught. They don't want to be kept. And you busy still chasing and saying whatever it is you saying in the process of the chase, and that's manipulative. You trying to coerce, you trying to convince, you trying to no. Please, my people, stop. Stop. If they running, let them. If if they don't want to be a part of the program, let them go. Bye. A person who just refuse to accept certain things for what they are, meaning like, no, I don't want to be bothered with you. I'm not interested in you. I can't see us having nothing going on. A person who refused to hear you say stuff like that to them, you better get away fast, manipulator. Because how you gonna convince somebody of something that they telling you they that out their own mouth that they not interested in? A person who feel like they gotta convince you or something too, you better watch out for them. I'm just telling you. All of these different things I'm telling you, these red flags, it's all connected. Okay? It's all connected. You cannot have some of these things without the other stuff. You get they go together. They go together. These are tendencies, traits, characteristics that a manipulator is going to possibly have or possess. So you got to be tapped in. You got to understand, like, okay, let me observe. This is why I said it's important for you to have a vetting system in place. It's not about the other party. It's about you. The vetting system is put in place to save you time, energy, effort from being wasted. by a manipulator. I mean, I'm just here to help. I'm just trying to give a little 2 cents, if you will. I'm telling you, you better start building self up so that them type of energies and entities can't even get next to you. They not even on the same frequency. The elevator don't even stop on their floor. So then you don't got to worry about it. And the only way you can counteract those type of things, not saying that you won't come across them or never have to deal with it. I ain't saying that, but I'm saying the more you develop and heal and elevate and grow self, the more you aware and conscious about what's what. That's why so many things out here trying to stop us from being able to really fully tap in. The tapping in is you working on you. You. The more you tap in with yourself, the more things gonna make sense. And it took for me just to start, just the process. And it's not gonna be easy. I ain't say it was gonna feel good. It's gonna be uncomfortable. Because what happens is you end up seeing you for who you are. And having to be okay with that, sit with that, evaluate that, analyze that. Most people can't. That feeling that comes with that, they can't handle it. It's uncomfortable. It's too uncomfortable. Mm-mm. They the pressure. Some people will say, well, that's pressure that they feel. Maybe so. But guess what? If you can't be comfortable in your own skin, then what's going on? Who else gonna wear the skin but you? This is your experience in this kind of reality realm, in the physical realm. This your experience. If you can't be comfortable in your own skin, sit with yourself, sit with all of you, the stuff you don't like, the stuff you've been through, the shame and guilt you've been carrying, whatever it is, if you can't sit down and get with yourself on those levels, yeah, you're not gonna be able to tell if somebody on some trash with you. Yeah. Most people don't want to know themselves for real. I said that. I'm gonna keep on saying it. And part of it is programming. Part of it is programming. Most of the world has been programmed to look for everything that they need in life to help them conquer, have victory, and win, have winning over certain things in life. They teach us to look for all of those things that we need outside of ourselves. And that's why a lot of stuff don't align or make sense. That's exactly why. And I know it because I spent the majority of my life searching and looking for them same things, just like the rest of the world, and was pissed off when I realized why I wasn't getting what I needed. Because the more you avoid yourself, the more you avoid the answers, whatever they is that you looking for. Because there's always gonna be some questions that need answers. Or at least that's how I feel about it. It's always gonna be like that. It's always gonna be like that. And if you keep on relying on the TV and social media and people and the world and you you delaying. You also being distracted because that's the very reason why a lot of this stuff even exists. It is existing to keep you off of self. Why is this significant? Why does this even matter? Because I cannot control you at a high level as long as you tap in to self. I'm not going to keep saying what we experiencing right now currently as in the world as people. It's a spiritual war going on. And everybody act like this is just some normal shit. And it's like, no. It couldn't be further from the truth. Because perhaps maybe it's the first time those of us that's chosen that know exactly what need to be done and how it need to be done and what it's going to take. Perhaps it's the first time that the world is going to experience people finally unleashing, unpacking, reviving I'm the DNA, the memories. Because it is such thing as warlocks, witches, aliens. I know it's something they would be screaming, hey, she giving out false information again. But if those things can exist, then how do we not believe that the characteristics that make up certain people ain't real? Just let that sizzle in your spirit. Right, they can't imagine what really is going on all around us. No, because as long as you stay within the box that was created for you, because that's where they prefer you to be, inside this box. As long as you can't think outside the box, live outside the box, go without the box, and everything within the box, yeah. But if you could survive outside the box and be a critical thinker and question everything because we done been lied to about every single thing anyway, welcome to the 2%. Because that's literally what that means. You've already separated yourself from the so-called movers and the shakers. This is when you become divine, when you start realizing and seeing stuff for what it is and not what you want it to be. I remember we was talking about manipulators. Some of us choose to try to see something different when they present themselves other than what's in front of you. No, stop going against what it is you know to be true. They exactly who you thought they was. Don't be fooled. They exactly who you thought they was. But some of us, we just need them to stick around a little longer so we can clarify. Don't take yourself through no extra pain and suffering. For what? Once you realize that they are a manipulator and that they are literally leeching and feeding off of you, you get rid of, you disconnect, you cut the tie. Well, what do we need to exist for? It don't need to exist. I question everything and accept nothing. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, you have to step outside of what has been taught to us as reality in order for you to be able to see things for what you need to see them for. I struggled with that for a long time. I was like, man, no, I can't be. No, stop saying that. Stop going against what's already in you. Because that's how you a disservice to yourself. That feeling, that gut, that thought, whatever it was that light bulb or whatever went off in your head about somebody, stop going against that, man. Because it's a reason. You think you got that for nothing? No, you do not. You have the discernment and those intuitive feelings and thoughts for a reason, for sure. Those are for you to utilize in certain situations with involving people, for real. So you will know how. That's all. And that's not a bad thing. But don't be nobody's dummy. Don't be nobody's fool. Don't be nobody's crash dummy. I'm gonna keep saying that. And I know a lot of us may feel like that right now. I'm telling you that the only reason that you feel like that is because you know that you deserve better. Don't let nobody manipulate you. For what? If they can't rise to whatever level of season and frequency that you own, they don't deserve to be in your presence anyway. Do not lower yourself to meet them. No, you leave them exactly where you met them. Period. There is no reason for them to be around. There is no reason for them to have a connection, attachment, nothing with you. You've already synced them for who they are. Accept that and move on. And let them do the same. Ain't no sense in them having to keep showing you over and over. This is why that the saying is, when somebody show you who they is the first time, believe them. That's exactly why the saying is that. We hear these different sayings. Some people will call them cliches or whatever. You hear them and you don't realize how much they apply to everyday life, for real. And you perhaps you heard these things when you was younger and you was trying to figure out how and what they mean and how you could apply them to your life. But I'm here to tell you, boy, most of the stuff that I learned when I was younger, I absolutely can apply them to my life today, for sure. It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It all makes sense. Even if it didn't make sense then, it all makes sense now. I understand that those were tools I was being given. I was supposed to be lining up my tool belt so when it was time for those weapons to be used or tools to be used, yeah, I was prepared. I knew when, and where to use them. That's how you gotta start thinking about self. You the tool. How you gonna use yourself? Mm-hmm. Yes, they are, cuz universal spells. Not just sayings. I mean, well, we absolutely gotta do an episode on that. The English language, and you know, dive a little deep into that spell work and that type of stuff. But I hope somebody got something out of it. You are enough, exactly the way you are, and you deserve happiness. You are beautiful and wonderfully made, just the way you are, and everything you need, you already have and possess. If you need to go back and watch that, those are things that I say. I call them affirmations, but those are things that I say to get myself back in balance and alignment, so that I'm able to utilize my God-given gifts. Okay. I appreciate everybody that tapped in, chimed in, came through, commented, told somebody. Hey man, I appreciate and love every last one of y'all, man. I really do. I hope everybody was able to dig theyself out because here we got a lot of snow. And I'm talking about within a 24 to 48-hour period. We had over a foot of snow outside. So I hope everybody was able to dig themselves out and be productive, but more importantly, stay warm and stay safe and be careful. I'll see y'all back here Tuesday. Same place, but different time, 11 a.m. Don't meet me here, beat me here, okay? We're going to continue to keep unpacking and dissecting and breaking down what some people would consider hard, transparent conversations and topics. Because the only way we can do anything about what some may be experiencing and dealing with is to discuss and acknowledge it first. I'm going to always remind myself as well as you guys of that. Okay, that's why I do what I do, because we got to have acknowledgement, awareness, and accountability first before we can have any kind of change and growth. So, I love y'all, man. I see y'all back here Tuesday, 11 a.m. for a new mini episode of Unspoken Truth Podcast. Until then, I'm your host, Denise. I'm out of here, man.